Hi everyone, Rick Bray with the PLIC team at Broome-Tioga BOCES, and I'd like to take just a few minutes to talk with you about some changes that are happening to Google. No, don't worry, Google's not going away. You're still going to be able to use it. I understand the concern. What's happening really is that there's going to be a change to student access starting March 1st, and this is because there were some changes made at Google due to legal decisions that came down. And Google made those changes, and as a result, in New York State, we had to follow Education Law 2D, which is what this is all about. Starting March 1st, students will no longer be able to access what are called Google Additional Services. Now, there's a lot of things there, but there's some we think are going to hit bigger than others for your students, and quite honestly, the big one is YouTube. The best way I can show you this is just to, well, show you it. So here is an example of what a student interface, how it might behave starting March 1st, where here I am at Google, I'm logged in with my school account, and even if I search for YouTube, you'll say, well, there's the link, yep. But when I click on it, that's what I see. I get this error message that says you can't access YouTube. Now this is independent of what network they're on because the changes are made at the account level. So starting March 1st, student accounts will not be able to access YouTube. So you mean all the stuff that I've made is going to be gone? Well, no, not exactly. And I do understand the concern with that. If you are providing your students with a link that takes them directly to YouTube, they're going to be met with this screen starting March 1st, and so that might be a problem. If, however, you are embedding those videos into something like Edpuzzle or maybe Nearpod or Pear Deck, or within Google Classroom, if you're using that little YouTube button, those are going to be fine. Same thing with if you're embedding those videos into Schoology. If you're using Seesaw, we got to do something a little bit different. But there are ways that you can still have it work. And those are going to be linked down in the comment area of this video. There'll be links to slide decks and some video presentations from our team at the PLIC on how you can still have your students access that material while the account access to YouTube is blocked. One of the big ones that I want to highlight is if you embed that YouTube video into a Google slide or a Google Doc, for example, that will work just fine. But giving the students a link that would take them to the YouTube page is not going to work starting March 1st. Now, there are some other things that are also going to be affected by this change because it's Google Additional Services. It's a whole list of things which in most cases are not being used by students, but one other one that is going to be affected is Google Maps. So if I were to go to maps.google.com as a student, I'm going to get this error message. A little bit different, but same idea. I can no longer access Google Maps as a student, nor can I access Google Arts and Culture or Google Earth. Student accounts will all be deactivated for that. Great, so you're telling me all the videos and everything that I show my kids not going to work anymore. Well, keep in mind, this change only is happening for student access. Teacher access is all staying exactly the same. You shouldn't see a change starting March 1st. If you do see a change, you might be labeled as a student and not a teacher, and you want to talk to your IT team. But we've had a lot of teachers who, like in kindergarten, first grade, maybe second grade, they talk about how there's a YouTube video that they have bookmarked, and they show that as a whole class activity. That's still going to work because you're accessing it through your teacher account. It's the student accounts that won't be able to access those direct links anymore. So unfortunately, this does cause some impacts in our world, but both our team at the PLIC and other teams throughout the state have been working to get those resources together for you to help address those changes and make sure that your students are still able to get access to the quality content that you, as a professional educator, have provided them. Yeah, well, my friend in another district said we can't even use Google anymore. Well, keep in mind, just like everything else in New York State, when it comes to educational law 2D and data privacy, all of those decisions are made on a district by district level. They are independent for each district. So while a neighboring district may be able to do things one way, your district might have different policies in place. When it comes to Google Additional Services, it's a little more broad sweeping than that. But if you're not sure if you have access to something or not, I would encourage you to reach out to either your district's privacy officer, or if you have an embedded tech like one of our team on your staff, they may have a better idea of what platforms have been approved for use within your district. So there you have it, friends. Starting March 1st, access is going to change a little bit for student accounts when it comes to Google additional services, and definitely going to be a big impact for YouTube. But again, those resources down in the comment area of this video are going to help you find ways to still get that quality content to your students. If you found this video helpful, which I sure hope you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and you can smash that subscribe button down at the bottom to get updates and new notifications when new content like this video is posted. And as always, thank you for watching.